Hey, what is going on, party people? Greg Jenkins here from House Monkeypod. And in this video, I wanted to share with you a scenario that came up the other day in my OG membership group based on a question a friend of mine and OG member Jason asked. So the question was this. Jason is hosting a couple of events, right? 4 total events, 2 on the first day and then 2 on the second day. And these events take place at different times in different locations, right? So the goal here is to send out a promotion. In this scenario, it's a direct mail piece driving people to a landing page where they can choose which of these 4 events they want to attend. And then Jason is looking for ideas to streamline the follow-up. After they register leading up to the event, we want to send them reminders, downloadable materials, ideas for things they can read or do to be prepared for the event, right? All of those good things that happen in that window between registering and actually attending. But the question that Jason asked is, how can I simplify this, right? How can I easily and dynamically have the reminders customized based on the time, the date, and the location of the event? The event subject matter is all going to be the same, but we want to have all those different variables represented so that each individual who registers gets reminders and follow-ups that are unique to them. And I think we can do this all natively inside of Keap. So follow along and I'll show you how we can set this up. Okay, so here is the landing page that Jason would be sending people to. So we'll call this the 4 events, 4 event options, right? Something like that. And I have set up a really simple landing page. Jason would set up something a little more robust, probably with a few more design elements. But the key component I want to draw your attention to on this landing page is giving them the option to select from those 4 events. So you can see October 1st, 8 a.m., Hotel 1. October 1st, 3 p.m., Hotel 1. October 2nd, 8 a.m., Hotel 2. October 2nd, 3 p.m., Hotel 2. So 2 different locations, 2 different times on 2 different days, right? Lots of different combinations. Now, for the form here, we're collecting first name, last name, and email, and then I've used a virtual field, which does not store anywhere on the contact record. But the virtual field options do give us the ability to add tags. So what we're doing is tagging event 1 when they select that first option. And then we are choosing or tagging them with event 2 when they select that second option, event 3 and event 4 as they select the subsequent event options or any of those. So radio options specifically are either or. So they can only select one of those 4 options. And that is a key distinction here. But everybody who submits this form will have one of those 4 tags because that radio field was required. So this is now published. And the landing page itself, I don't need much else, right? All they need to do is capture or submit their information, and we need to capture their event selection. All right, so at this point, I think maybe the most obvious way to build this campaign would be to use the event 1 tag, event 1, and then to just construct the event 1 reminder sequence. So event 1 reminders, and we would maybe send an immediate confirmation email, and then we could use date timers because we know when event 1 is happening. So we could say, if the event 1 is October 1st, well, we want to have the reminder go out a week beforehand on September 21st. And then we would have our, week out reminder, and then maybe do the same thing for 3 days before and 1 day before the event, right? And in each of these emails, we could include the specifics for event 1, the time, the date, and the location, right? And then for each of the other events, we would need to clone this structure, right? And do the same thing with building out the reminders on the dates that correspond with that particular event and making sure that the email copy reflects the specifics for that event, the time, the hotel details, etc. And do that, twice more for events 3 and 4. And it's not necessarily a whole lot of work if you only have 4 events, right? and you only have a handful of reminders for each event. But if you have, 4 or 5 touch points leading up to each of these events, or you have more than 4 events, this process of duplicating things gets kind of cumbersome, and there's an opportunity for human error if and when something changes. Because if you need to update the time of an event or the location of an event, you have to hunt down the right sequence and then go through each of the emails in that sequence and make sure that the copy is updated, or make sure that the timers are updated so that they're going out at the right time with relation to that particular event. So I think I have some ideas that will help us simplify and standardize this build process. Instead, we want to set up a couple of different options for how and where we follow up with them. And let me show you the way I'm thinking about this is this would be event 1 or 2. And the reason I say 1 or 2 is because they happen on the same date. So event 1 or event 2. And then down here, we would say event 2 or event 2 or 3 or 4 rather, 3 or 4. And down here we have event 3 and event 4. And then in these sequences, all we need to really do is record the date of the event. So let's jump in here. So set event date, and because event 1 and 2 are on the same day, we can use one sequence to set the field value for either of those events. So I think we have an event date field. So let's see if we can find that one. Okay, I'm not seeing the event date field, so let's just use date field. And rather than setting it when the contact reaches this point, we actually want to hard code this to the date of the event, which is October 1st based on the landing page. I made that up. I don't know when Jason's actual events are, but set event date to October 1st, right? And then we can actually do the exact same thing for the events 3 and 4, but setting it to October 2nd instead. So this one would be set to October 2nd, and then the step here, we would have it set to October 2nd. So now we have, regardless of which event they selected, we are recording the date of the event into a custom field on the contact record. And the reason we are doing that is so that in this next sequence, we can have a countdown to the event, right? And the reason that we set it into a field is because it allows us to then use field timers to count down to when that event is happening. So let's do first an initial confirmation. And this would be like where we just say, hey, congratulations, you have successfully registered. So I will build a simple email here, and I won't make you watch me fumble through narrating while I type this out. So we'll just snap our fingers and the email will be done. Okay, and just like that, the email is built. You can see we've got our subject line, you're confirmed for the upcoming event, and then some really simple text here. And we do call out the event, time, date, and location here in the email. But as you probably are saying to yourself or maybe out loud, that's going to vary based on which event they register for. So if you recall, we tagged them based on their event. Event 1, event 2, event 3, event 4. We set the date for the event in that field, and then we consolidated everyone into one sequence. So what we need is for this section to change automatically based on which event they registered for. And so this is a perfect use case for a feature known as dynamic content. So this is a Keap tool that allows you to hide or show sections of an email based on what you know about someone. So over in the Max Classic marketing section, we have a dynamic content editor, which allows you to build out a code snippet that will do that function for us, that will control which sections of the email hide or show based on information about the contact record. So the way that this works is we choose, it's from the contact, that's the information we want to draw from. and we're going to use the contacts tags. So you can use contact custom fields, you can use their ID, you can use the location that they are, but we're going to use tag IDs. And then we want conditionals here because we want it to be a conditional if this, then this, right? That's a conditional statement. So if the contacts tag IDs contain, and then we need the tag ID for event 1. So 653. So if the contacts tags IDs contain 653, or if the contacts tag IDs contain, I think it's 655 for event 2, 657 for event 3, and 659 for event 4. So 655, 65, 657, and then we can do 659. And then we'll just say else, just in case somehow they get into this sequence without one of those tags. So this would be event 1, event 2. The way that this works is it kind of puts in placeholders because it doesn't know what you want those people to see. So I like to swap it out with like human context for what that section's all about. And this would be no event selected, ... So then we just copy this entire section, we pop it into our email. So let's remove that and we'll paste this in. Okay, so we're building out our dynamic content statement. Here we go. And so only one of these is going to show based on which tag they have. So if they have the event 1 tag, it'll show this section. So that's where we can paste in this piece that shows the time and date and location of event 1. And then we can actually copy that for event 2. So if you recall, event 2 was at the same location, but at a different time. So this one was at 3 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. And then we'll do event 3, which was the next day at 8 a.m. at Hotel 2. So this would be October 2nd at Hotel 2. And then finally, event 4 would be at 3 p.m. October 2nd at Hotel 2. So now what we've done is we've sort of built out those sections to only show one of those based on their selection. So one email can go to everyone who registers, and we're only going to see one of those sections. So down here, this is sort of the, if they don't have any of those tags, what would it say? So we'll say, oops, there was an error and your event date wasn't recorded. Please contact our support team to make sure you're registered, right? And you can put a link to that email. So if I preview this, we're not going to see all 4 of these. We're actually probably only going to see this error message because when I preview it, it's going to use my user records information, and my user record doesn't have any of those tags. So if I preview this, we should see, oops, there was an error, right? And we could actually make that bold just to make it stand out more. So if it shows, they know immediately that there is something wrong. Now, what I would do next, this email is built, is ready to go, and they're only going to see the details for one of these events based on what tag they have. And the next move here would be to use those field timers to schedule our reminders leading up to the event. So wait until, let's say, 1 week before the date field, that's where we stored the event date, at 8 a.m. is fine, right? So then we would just copy this, duplicate that, and we would say, 1 week reminder. And maybe this is where we tell them like the things that they should be focused on, some information about the area where the event is being hosted, restaurants, hotels, that sort of thing. And we would say the event is next week. Looking forward to seeing you there. As a reminder, here are your event details. In the meantime, focus on answering these 3 questions, right? Or filling out this pre-work assessment or whatever it is, right? So you could, build this out. But I'm going to take this to the next level. I want to show you guys, before I build the 1 week out, the 3-day out, and the day of reminders, before I build those other emails, there's another feature we can use to simplify or streamline this campaign building process. And I'm talking about campaign merge fields, right? So right now, these emails all say, hey, the event is happening at Hotel 1, Hotel 1, Hotel 2, Hotel 2. But if that hotel changed and I was using that in all of the emails, I would need to go update each of those emails. So what I'm going to do instead is set up campaign merge fields, which is like a central bank of values that allows you to manage those values from a centralized location. So let's call this Hotel 1, and we'll say the Grand Hyatt, okay? Save. And then we will add another one, Hotel 2, and this is the San Diego Four Seasons, okay? Or the La Jolla Four Seasons. Let's do that one. La Jolla Four Seasons, okay? So we've got 2 different locations. And not only can you do this with merge field values, you can also do this with links. So I could also include links to those specific hotels. And the benefit of using these merge fields, let me show you real quick, is that it's in the email, it's a placeholder, right? So we choose Hotel 1, right? You can see that's the merge field for Hotel 1. So we will add that in here. And it does take a little extra work to get it set up, right? Just to think through like what are the variables that need to be added here. So this would be Hotel 2, and this one would be Hotel 2 as well. But that way, and you could do this for the event date as well. But the key here is that if a variable changes, if I duplicate this for the reminder, so this is my 1 week out reminder, it's not hard coded in there. It's using those different merge fields, right? And similarly, I could duplicate this and I could set up a 3-day out reminder, right? So 3 days before the date of the event was recorded, we would then send another one with 3 days out. So this would be our 3 days out reminder. And then we could do one more for maybe the day before or the day of the event, right? So we would say 1 day before the day of the event, and then this would be our final reminder. So the event is tomorrow, that type of thing, right? Event is tomorrow. And I'm not going to write each of these emails. The point that I'm illustrating here is that the hotel is referenced in each of these, right? So I have 2 different hotels in 4 different emails, and maybe you would also have promo emails where it's referencing it, right? There could be any number of emails and touch points in this campaign. But the benefit to having it set up as a campaign merge field is that if that hotel location changes, you only need to change it in one place, and it automatically updates for all 4 of those emails, or all 10 of those emails, or all 100 of those emails, however many different touch points we're using it. Now, I only used campaign merge fields for the location, but you could do the same thing for the event time and the event date. And that way, if the event needed to shift from October 1st to October 10th, well, you only need to make that change here, and it's going to update in the email copy across all of those emails that were using that value. Of course, you would also need to change the event date here manually. But the beauty of this is that it makes managing the campaign at a global level much easier. It reduces the opportunity for human error, and it helps you make sure that all of the email copy is kept current if and when there are changes to the event date, the event time, or the event location, any of those standard variables that were used throughout your sequence. So now when the event happens, you would probably want to have some sort of conclusion tag for did they attend or did they not, and then how you follow up with them from there. I'm not going to get into those options in this video. I wanted to just illustrate how you could use a landing page to capture their selection, and then based on which of the 4 events they select, how you could set the date and then use a single sequence to count down to the event with emails that are personalized based on which of those 4 events they register, using dynamic content, and of course made cleaner and easier with the use of campaign merge fields. So Jason, I hope this helps you, but anyone else who took the time to watch this video, I hope you took away an idea or two that you can use to simplify your campaigns or to improve the experience you're creating for your customers. And of course, if you are looking for a more robust training on the campaign builder or building advanced automations inside Keap, check out the Advanced Automations Complete Collection course in the Keap Academy LMS platform. If you found this video valuable, feel free to leave me a comment, to like, subscribe, or to share it with someone who you think it could serve. Take care.